Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Old Quarter $U.S.A. Today we are exploring 5 amazing United States dime coins full of history, rare value, mint marks, and hidden treasures. In this video you will discover the fascinating story behind the 1966 no mint mark dime, 1967 no mint mark dime, 1969 D mint mark dime, 1981 D mint mark dime, and 1985 D mint mark dime. We will talk about coin history, Roosevelt design, rare errors, collectible value, silver transition, full bands details, and how some old American coins can become valuable treasures for collectors. If you love rare coins, old currency, coin hunting, and American coin history, this video is perfect for you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Old Quarter $U.S.A. for more rare coin videos and hidden coin value discoveries. Top 1. The 1966 United States Roosevelt dime is one of the most recognizable modern American coins and an important piece in the history of U.S. currency. This coin was issued during a major period of change in American coinage when the United States government removed silver from circulating dimes and quarters because of rising silver prices and coin shortages. The 1966 dime carries the portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a symbol of American leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt became closely associated with the March of Dimes organization because of his battle with polio, and after his death in 1945, the U.S. Mint honored him by placing his portrait on the dime beginning in 1946. By 1966, the Roosevelt dime had already become one of the most widely used coins in everyday American life. The coin displays the word "Liberty" along the left side of Roosevelt's portrait, the national motto, "In God We Trust," below the neck, and the year 1966 on the right side. Unlike many earlier coins, the 1966 dime has no mint mark visible on the coin. During the years 1965 through 1967, the United States Mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins in order to discourage collectors from hoarding newly produced coins during a national coin shortage. Because of this policy, all 1966 dimes appear without mint marks even though they were produced at different mint facilities. This historical detail makes the 1966 dime especially interesting for collectors and coin historians. The reverse side of the 1966 Roosevelt dime features a beautiful torch in the center, representing liberty and freedom. Beside the torch are an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch representing strength and independence. Around the design are the words "United States of America" and "One Dime," while the Latin motto "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one," appears across the middle. The coin was designed by famous sculptor John R. Sinek, whose initials, J.S., appear near Roosevelt's neck. The Roosevelt dime is small but carries deep symbolism connected to American unity, democracy, and resilience. The 1966 dime is made from a copper-nickel clad composition instead of silver. Prior to 1965, Roosevelt dimes contained 90% silver, but rising silver values caused the government to change the metal composition. The 1966 dime contains an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This gave the coin a silvery appearance while reducing production costs. The diameter of the coin is 17.9 millimeters, and it weighs approximately 2.27 grams. The edge of the coin is reeded with tiny grooves around the sides, a classic feature of American dimes. The year 1966 was significant in American history. The United States was deeply involved in the Vietnam War, social change movements were growing, and the economy was rapidly expanding. Coins like the 1966 dime circulated through the hands of millions of Americans every day during this transformative era. Because the coin was produced in huge numbers for circulation, many examples today are still common. Over 900 million Roosevelt dimes were struck in 1966, making it one of the highest mintage dimes in U.S. history. Although most circulated examples are worth only face value or slightly more, collectors search for high-grade uncirculated examples with strong details and brilliant surfaces. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services can sell for much higher prices depending on quality and eye appeal. Some collectors also look for rare minting errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or coins with unusual surface conditions. These rare errors can sometimes be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity and condition. One fascinating aspect of the 1966 dime is the transition away from silver coinage. Older Americans at the time noticed the difference immediately because the new clad coins looked slightly different and lacked the distinctive silver ring when dropped. The removal of silver marked the end of an era in U.S. coinage history. Today, coin collectors often compare pre-1965 silver dimes with post-1965 clad dimes to understand how economic pressures influenced coin production. The 1966 dime became part of this important transition and represents a historical turning point in American monetary policy. Collectors appreciate the coin not only for its design, but also for its connection to this dramatic change in U.S. currency. Condition plays a major role in determining the value of a 1966 Roosevelt dime. Circulated examples with wear are usually worth only 10 cents to a few dollars depending on condition. Uncirculated coins with full mint luster are more desirable, especially if they show sharp details on Roosevelt's hair and the torch bands on the reverse. Professional coin grading services such as PCGS and NGC evaluate coins based on preservation, luster, strike quality, and surface marks. Coins with exceptional quality and full bands details on the torch are highly prized by collectors because they indicate a strong strike from the mint. Some rare specimens in top condition have sold for impressive amounts at auctions. Even though millions were produced, finding perfectly preserved examples from circulation is not always easy because dimes are small coins that wear quickly through daily use. The 1966 Roosevelt dime remains a favorite among beginner and experienced collectors alike because it is affordable, historically important, and easy to recognize. Many people discover these coins in old jars, bankrolls, or inherited collections and become interested in learning about American coin history. The coin is also popular in coin albums and date and mint collections of Roosevelt dimes. Because no mint marks were used in 1966, collectors usually focus on finding the best possible condition rather than different mint varieties. The coin's simple but elegant design has remained largely unchanged for decades, making it one of the longest-running designs in modern American coinage. Today, the 1966 dime continues to circulate occasionally in pocket change, although many older examples have been removed by collectors. Its historical connection to President Roosevelt, the end of silver coinage, and the coin shortage of the 1960s make it far more interesting than its small size might suggest. For YouTube coin collectors and history enthusiasts, the 1966 Roosevelt dime tells the story of America's economic changes, political history, and the collectible for future generations. Next top 2. The 1967 Roosevelt dime from the United States of America is one of the most historically important modern American coins because it was produced during a unique period in U.S. coinage history. This small 10-cent coin may appear ordinary at first glance, but it represents a major transition in the materials, design policies, and economic conditions of the United States during the 1960s. The coin features President Franklin Delano Roosevelt on the obverse side and carries the inscriptions, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date, 1967. Like the 1965 and 1966 Roosevelt dimes, the 1967 dime does not display a mint mark. During these years, the United States Mint intentionally removed mint marks from circulating coins to discourage collectors from hoarding newly minted coins during a nationwide coin shortage. Because of this special policy, all 1967 Roosevelt dimes appear without mint marks regardless of which mint facility produced them. This historical detail makes the 1967 dime especially fascinating for coin collectors and American history enthusiasts. The obverse design of the 1967 dime shows a left-facing portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt served during the Great Depression and World War II and became one of the most influential leaders in American history. After his death in 1945, the U.S. government honored him by placing his portrait on the dime beginning in 1946. Roosevelt was closely connected with the March of Dimes charity because of his battle against polio, making the dime a meaningful tribute to his legacy. The portrait was designed by sculptor John R., whose initials appear near Roosevelt's neck. The word "Liberty" is placed along the left edge of the coin, while "In God We Trust" appears below Roosevelt's chin. The year, 1967, is positioned to the right side of the portrait. The design is simple yet elegant and has remained one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. The reverse side of the 1967 Roosevelt dime features a central torch symbolizing liberty and enlightenment. On the left side of the torch is an olive branch representing peace, while an oak branch on the right symbolizes strength and independence. Around the outer edge are the inscriptions "United States of America" and "One Dime." Across the center appears the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. This design reflects American ideals of unity, democracy, and freedom. Even though the coin is small in size, its design carries deep symbolic meaning connected to the nation's identity and values. The 1967 dime was struck using a copper-nickel clad composition instead of silver. Prior to 1965, U.S. dimes were made from 90% silver, but rising silver prices forced the government to remove precious metal from circulating coinage. By 1967, the new clad composition had become standard for American dimes. The coin consists of outer layers made from 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper center. The dime has a weight of approximately 2.27 grams and a diameter of 17.9 millimeters. Its edge is reeded with tiny grooves, a feature commonly found on American dimes. Many Americans during the 1960s noticed the difference between old silver coins and the newer clad versions because the sound and appearance had changed slightly. The 1967 dime, therefore, represents the continuation of one of the biggest changes in American coinage history. The historical context of 1967 adds even more significance to the coin. The United States was experiencing dramatic social and political changes during this period. The Vietnam War was ongoing, civil rights movements were shaping the nation, and economic growth was transforming everyday life. Coins such as the 1967 dime circulated through the hands of millions of Americans during this important decade. The U.S. Mint produced enormous quantities of dimes to meet the demand for circulating coinage. More than 2 billion Roosevelt dimes were struck in 1967, making it one of the highest mintage years for the denomination. Because so many were produced, circulated examples are still common today and are usually worth only face value. However, collectors search for uncirculated examples with strong luster and sharp details because these are more difficult to find in perfect condition. Coin collectors carefully examine 1967 Roosevelt dimes for condition, strike quality, and rare minting errors. High-grade uncirculated examples graded by professional services such as or NGC can command significantly higher prices than ordinary circulated coins. Collectors especially value coins showing full bands on the torch design. Full bands refer to sharply defined horizontal bands across the torch on the reverse side, indicating an exceptionally strong strike from the mint. Such coins are much scarcer and can sell for impressive amounts in top grades. Error coins are also popular among collectors. Some rare 1967 dimes feature double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or missing clad layers. These unusual errors can increase the value dramatically depending on rarity and condition. One reason the 1967 Roosevelt dime remains popular is because it marks the final year of the temporary no-mint mark policy. Beginning in 1968, mint marks returned to American coinage, making the 1967 dime historically unique as part of this short 3-year period. Collectors often include the 1965, 1966, and 1967 no-mint mark dimes together as an important set representing the coin shortage era. This period reflects how economic concerns and public behavior influenced the decisions of the United States Mint. The government hoped that removing mint marks would reduce collecting activity and encourage coins to remain in circulation. Although the policy was temporary, it created an interesting chapter in numismatic history. Next, top 3. The 1969 D Roosevelt dime from the United States of America is an important modern American coin that reflects the changing economic and social landscape of the late 1960s. This 10-cent coin, commonly known as a dime, features President Franklin Delano Roosevelt on the front and represents both American history and the modernization of U.S. coinage. The D mint mark on the coin indicates that it was struck at the famous Denver Mint in Colorado, one of the major coin-producing facilities of the United States Mint. By 1969, the United States had fully transitioned away from silver coinage, and the Roosevelt dime had become one of the most widely circulated coins in daily American life. Even though millions of these coins were produced, collectors continue to value the 1969 D dime because of its historical background, collectible varieties, and connection to the Roosevelt series that began in 1946. The obverse side of the 1969 D Roosevelt dime displays the left-facing portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt led the country during the Great Depression and World War II and became one of the most respected leaders in American history. After his death in 1945, The U.S. government decided to honor him by placing his image on the dime because of his strong association with the March of Dimes organization, which fought against polio. The portrait was created by sculptor John R., whose initials appear near Roosevelt's neck. Along the left side of the coin is the word Liberty, while the national motto, In God We Trust, appears below the chin area. The date, 1969, is shown on the right side, and the small D mint mark appears just above the date, identifying the Denver Mint as the place of production. The design is simple, elegant, and instantly recognizable to Americans. The reverse side of the coin contains one of the classic designs in American numismatic history. At the center is a torch symbolizing liberty and enlightenment. To the left of the torch is an olive branch representing peace, while an oak branch on the right symbolizes strength, stability, and independence. Around the border are the words United States of America and 1 dime. Across the middle is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This reverse design also reflects the artistic work of John R. Cynic and has remained nearly unchanged for decades. The symbolism on the reverse reminds collectors that even a small 10-cent coin can represent the ideals and values of a nation. The 1969 D Roosevelt dime was struck using a copper-nickel-clad composition. Before 1965, American dimes were made of 90% silver, but rising silver prices forced the United States government to eliminate silver from most circulating coins. As a result, the 1969 dime consists of outer layers made from 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper center. This composition gave the coin a silver-like appearance while making production more economical. The coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter. Like other dimes, it features a reeded edge with small grooves around the sides. Although the coin contains no silver, it remains highly collectible because of its historical significance and its place in the Roosevelt dime series. The year 1969 was a remarkable period in American history. The United States was experiencing rapid technological advancement, social change, and political challenges. It was the same year Americans landed on the moon during the Apollo 11 mission, a historic achievement that inspired people around the world. Meanwhile, the Vietnam War and civil rights movements continued to shape American society. Coins such as the 1969 D dime circulated through the hands of millions of citizens during this dramatic era. Every purchase, bus ride, or vending machine transaction involved coins like these, making them silent witnesses to history. Because dimes were heavily used in commerce, many examples became worn through circulation, while high-grade uncirculated specimens became more difficult to find over time. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1969 D Roosevelt dimes to meet public demand. Because of the large mintage, circulated examples are generally common and worth only face value. However, collectors seek uncirculated coins with bright mint luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks. Coins graded or higher by professional grading companies such as or NGC can command significantly higher prices. One important feature collectors examine is the full bands designation on the reverse torch. Full bands refer to clearly separated horizontal bands across the torch, indicating a strong strike from the mint. Full bands examples are scarcer and more valuable because they are harder to find in perfect condition. Some top-quality specimens have sold for impressive amounts at coin auctions. Collectors also search for rare mint errors and varieties associated with the 1969 D dime. Error coins are always popular because they are unusual and often unique. Some examples include double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, or missing clad layers. These minting mistakes can dramatically increase a coin's value depending on rarity and condition. Although most 1969 D dimes are ordinary circulation coins, discovering an unusual error specimen can be exciting for collectors. Searching through old coin rolls and inherited collections remains a favorite activity among coin enthusiasts hoping to find hidden treasures. The Roosevelt dime series itself remains one of the most popular coin collections in the United States because it is affordable, historically meaningful, and widely available. Many beginner collectors start with Roosevelt dimes because they can often be found in circulation. The 1969 D dime is especially important because it comes from the early clad era after the removal of silver from American coinage. It also represents the return of mint marks after the temporary suspension during 1965 to 1967. Collectors often build complete Roosevelt dime albums featuring coins from different years and mint locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco issues. Today, the 1969 D Roosevelt dime continues to circulate occasionally in pocket change, although many older examples have been saved by collectors. The coin stands as a reminder of America during the late 1960s, a time of space exploration, cultural transformation, and economic change. Its design honoring President currency next top 4. The 1981 D Roosevelt dime from the United States of America is a classic modern American coin that represents both the history of U.S. currency and the enduring legacy of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This small 10-cent coin, commonly known as a dime, was produced at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark located near the date on the obverse side. Although millions of these coins were struck for everyday circulation, the 1981 D dime remains important to collectors because of its role in the long-running Roosevelt dime series, its connection to American economic history, and the collectible varieties and high-grade examples that continue to attract coin enthusiasts around the world. The obverse side of the 1981 D Roosevelt dime features the left-facing portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt served from 1933 until 1945 and guided the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. Because of his leadership and his support for the fight against polio through the March of Dimes organization, the U.S. Mint honored him after his death by placing his image on the dime beginning in 1946. The portrait was designed by John R., a talented sculptor and chief engraver of the United States Mint. His initials can still be seen near Roosevelt's neck. Along the left edge of the coin appears the word Liberty, while the phrase, "In God We Trust," is located below the portrait. The date, 1981, appears to the right, and just above the date is the small D mint mark representing the Denver Mint in Colorado. This design has remained one of the most recognizable images in American coinage for decades. The reverse side of the 1981 D dime contains a detailed and symbolic design centered around a torch. The torch represents liberty and enlightenment, two important ideals in American democracy. On the left side of the torch is an olive branch symbolizing peace, while an oak branch on the right symbolizes strength and stability. Around the outer edge are the inscriptions United States of America and One Dime. Across the center appears the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This elegant reverse design reflects the unity and values of the United States and has remained largely unchanged since the Roosevelt dime was first introduced. The combination of Roosevelt's portrait and the reverse symbolism gives the coin both artistic beauty and patriotic meaning. The 1981 D Roosevelt dime was produced using a copper-nickel clad composition, which became standard for American dimes after silver was removed from circulating coinage in 1965. The coin consists of outer layers made from 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This gives the coin its silver-like appearance while making it more economical to produce. The dime weighs approximately 2.27 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter. Like other American dimes, the edge is reeded with small grooves around the sides. Even though the coin contains no silver, it remains highly collectible because of its historical significance and the popularity of the Roosevelt dime series among collectors. The year 1981 was an important period in American history. The United States was entering a new decade marked by economic challenges, technological growth, and political change. Ronald Reagan had recently become President of the United States, and the country was experiencing inflation concerns and economic restructuring. During this era, coins like the 1981 D dime circulated heavily through everyday commerce. Americans used dimes in vending machines, public telephones, parking meters, buses, and daily shopping transactions. Because dimes were handled frequently, many examples became worn over time, making high-grade uncirculated specimens more desirable to collectors today. The Denver Mint produced a very large number of 1981 D Roosevelt dimes for circulation. More than 800 million coins were struck, ensuring that the denomination remained widely available across the country. Because of the high mintage, circulated examples are still common today and are usually worth face value. However, uncirculated examples with brilliant luster and sharp strike quality can be worth significantly more, especially if they receive high grades from professional coin grading services such as or NGC. Collectors pay close attention to the condition of Roosevelt's hair details, the surfaces of the coin, and the sharpness of the torch bands on the reverse. Coins displaying clearly defined, full bands on the torch are especially valuable because they indicate a strong strike during the minting process. Full band specimens are scarcer and often command premium prices at coin auctions. One interesting aspect of the 1981 D dime is the possibility of finding mint errors or unusual varieties. Error coins are always exciting for collectors because they are different from standard issues and often very rare. Some examples include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, die cracks, or coins missing part of the clad layer. Such minting mistakes can greatly increase the value of a coin depending on the rarity and condition of the error. Collectors enjoy searching through rolls of dimes, old piggy banks, and inherited coin collections hoping to discover one of these hidden treasures. Even a common date coin like the 1981 D dime can become valuable if it possesses a rare minting error. The Roosevelt dime series is one of the most popular and longest-running coin series in modern American history. Since its introduction in 1946, billions of Roosevelt dimes have been produced, making them familiar to generations of Americans. The 1981 D issue is part of the clad-era Roosevelt dimes that followed the removal of silver from circulating coins. Many collectors enjoy assembling complete Roosevelt dime collections featuring coins from different years, mint marks, and varieties. Because the series is affordable and accessible, it remains an excellent choice for beginner coin collectors while still offering challenges for advanced numismatists seeking high-grade or rare error specimens. Next, top 5.